So what do you want me to speak on? What is the subject?
Meaning of life.
Meaning of life. That's a very good question and very important, because we live, but we don't know why we live. Right? They say that there's a survival instinct in every living entity. Everybody wants to survive, right? Even if you see a little worm and touch it, it tries to protect itself. So this instinct to survive is a very basic instinct. But the question comes, why should we survive? What is the problem if we die? And anyway, we are going to die, right? Anybody here who will not die? So everybody dies, but everybody wants to live. This is the paradox of life, that you cannot stop death and you cannot stop the wish to live. People who cannot walk, who cannot do anything, they may be paralyzed, they may be in wheelchair, but they also want to live. So that is very strong instinct in us. And then the next thing is that why we should live. What is the problem if we die? When we sleep, we feel happy, right? Anybody who does not like to sleep? Anybody here? Everybody wants to have a nice sleep. When you meet somebody in the morning, you ask, did you have a good sleep? But if sleeping is so good, why not sleep permanently? If sleeping is so pleasurable, which we all experience, that sleep is a very pleasurable thing. And you don't have to make any effort. In fact, if you make an effort, you cannot fall asleep. So if sleeping is so wonderful, why we want to get up? Why not we just keep on sleeping? Does anyone like that I just sleep continuously? Because that's what death is. Sometimes you have a pet dog or a cat, they're suffering, then you say we put him to sleep, permanent sleep. Right? We don't say that I killed because he was our pet. We don't want to use the word killing, that we killed the pet. Basically we are killing. Yeah, but we use a softer word, that we put him to sleep. Because sleeping is good, right? Dying is not good. Otherwise, why not we just say that I killed or I put him to death? So we want to wake up from sleep and we don't want to die. That means our life must have some higher purpose. Right? This is a logical conclusion. I'm not speaking that Bible says this, Gita says this. This is logical conclusion. Many times people commit suicide because they are suffering so much, or they are unhappy, they are frustrated. They take their life. So that means taking life, they think they are bringing their suffering to an end. And we all suffer. So if death is a solution to suffering, then we should all die. But we don't think like that. In fact, committing suicide is a crime. Right? Not only killing someone else, but killing yourself is also a crime. So all this makes us think that why is it so? That sleeping is good, still I want to wake up. People who are frustrated that commit suicide, but I don't want to die. So this all points out to one thing, that there is some purpose to life. And that's why we all want to live. But the problem is that this is not what we are told what is the purpose of life. Science has made so much advancement how to prolong life. Of course, they are also making advancement how to shorten life. Release one bomb and many people die. So science is also trying to protect life, prolong life, but they are not telling us why shall I prolong my life. There is also research which is being done how to not die. They are seeing that if we can replace this, because they found out that we die because cells become old. So what if we can actually make the cells continue to produce, then somebody can live eternally. But try to imagine if nobody died, then what will happen? This planet will become hell if everybody just took birth and nobody died. So the point is not that we can prolong our life or we don't die, but how to live life. And that is the first education we should all be given, and that is not being taught anywhere. This is the big flaw in our modern education system. Everything else is nice, but they don't teach you about you, that who are you and why should you live and how should you live. So the purpose of life is happiness. It's not that we should just live. Even trees are living. So many other species are living better than us. Right? Even lion, tiger, all these ferocious animals, they want to eat. They kill only that much which they want to eat, that's all. So lion kills maybe once in 5-6 days. He eats, then he relaxes. So purpose of life is happiness. And that's why we all want to be happy. Just as we have instinct to survive, instinct to live, we also have wish to be happy. And at this we are all equal. See, we have so many divisions in our society, country, Lithuania, Poland, India, then male, female, and now we have some LGBTQ plus and so on, many varieties. But there is something which we all have in common. No matter which country you belong to, which gender you belong to, what is your age group, economic group, whatever. Everybody wants to live and everybody wants to live happily and nobody wants to suffer. So that means this is actually the truth of life, because truth is that which is not dependent on some geographical place or some age group or subgender. Truth is truth wherever it goes. So that is the purpose of life, that we should live happily. But then next question comes, how to achieve that. So now the next belief which people have is that we think that we'll be happy if we have a lot of money. This also everybody thinks like that. Everybody is trying to get more money than what he or she has. If I get little more, I will be happy. So this is the biggest illusion of human life. Money is necessary, but it is not the goal of life. So many of us, we have made the goal of life as wealth. And why is that? Because we believe that if I have wealth, I will be happy. But if we think clearly, logically, with peaceful mind, we see that it is not true. If we give you a lot of wealth, wealth is in itself has no value. Well, the value of the wealth is because you can exchange it for something else. It's basically inert matter, so it cannot give you happiness itself, but you can use it to exchange something else. So what is that something else? Something which will please my senses, by which I can fulfill my desire. So when my desire is fulfilled, then I feel happy. That is illusion number 2. We think that when my desire is fulfilled, I feel happy. That is also not true. Actually, desire is the one which was troubling you. And when desire is fulfilled, that trouble goes away. And then you think that you got happiness. But there are many people who do not have that particular desire and they are not suffering. So what we do is that we create trouble and then we solve it and then we feel happy. So this is what our mind is expert at. So there is a young man, he has job, he has money, he has his own apartment, he has everything, what basic needs. But then he thinks, I will be happy if I have a girlfriend. So that's how the problem begins. That is the beginning of the problem. So then he devises many plans. There are so many, he goes on Facebook, wherever, social media. So then he gets a girlfriend, and then you know the story. I don't have to tell that. I'm sure everybody has experience of that. And when I say girlfriend, for you ladies, it is boyfriend. So you have all experienced the fun having a boyfriend or a husband. So when this young man was in his apartment, he sees couple, outside. So they are walking. And he sees, look how happy they are. And he wants to be like that. And this couple is looking at this young man and he's thinking, look how happy he is. He doesn't have the trouble like I'm having. So this is the illusion which goes on in the society. So there is a saying that an unmarried person runs around here and there and gets into trouble, and married man gets it in one place. So that's how he solves his problem. That previously he or she was running here and there and getting into trouble. Now he finds one person and gets into trouble. So that is the mind. So first create problem and then you have to solve the problem. Then you go for couple therapy. In the beginning there was no couple and then they became couple. Now they have to go for couple therapy because he is not going to leave it. So there was one married person. So somebody asked him that how is your life going on? So both were together. They asked how was your life? How did you meet? So the man said, well, I actually had a nice childhood. And the girl said, yeah, my parents treated me nicely, good education. So they both said that we were very happy, and then when we were 19, then we met. And now the story begins of life. So point which I am making is that we want to live happily, but we don't know how to live happily. So first thing we have to understand that happiness cannot come from inert matter. It's like if you take sugar, then sugar is sweet. Because it has sweetness in it.
Yes.
If you take salt, it tastes salty because it has saltiness in it. So all these objects have certain qualities and we can only get from them what qualities they have. Now, if I ask you, is happiness the quality of life, living being, or is it a quality of inert matter? What will you say? Just like sweetness is the quality of sugar, what is the quality of happiness to which it belongs?
Living entity.
Living entity. It's very simple. I'm not asking some very complicated question. Everybody knows that happiness is experienced by a living being. This table cannot feel happiness. So therefore, I want happiness. One thing is for sure, that nothing material can give me happiness. And you will say, well, what about money? No, it does not give. You have to think deeply. It will take a long time for me to explain why money does not give happiness. But think it. At least you know that money is not living being. So happiness can only come from another living being. This is for sure. If you have any doubt on this, you please ask me. But now, just like if you have money, you can give me money. But if you don't have money and I ask you, you cannot give me because you don't have it. So similarly, if you have happiness, you can give me happiness. If you don't have it, how will you give me? So there are two beggars. They get married. You think after getting married, they will become millionaire? It's not possible. So now this young man is looking for happiness. That means he does not have it. And this young girl is also looking for happiness. That means she also does not have it. Then they get married. You think they will be happy? It's a simple equation. It's not very complicated. So if both do not have happiness, how when they come together they will be happy? Please tell me this. But then what happens? They come together, they get married, and then they start blaming each other. So all the time, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, what they do is they blame the other person that I am suffering because of you. And in the process, the psychotherapist makes money. He is a smart guy. So this is very important to understand this. So now coming to little higher point, that there are two ways we experience happiness. At least we all have experienced. One is that we feel happiness from material objects, which I already said it's an illusion. And the other is that we feel happiness through loving relations. So the real happiness comes when we have loving relationship. And this is actually what we are looking for. After our basic needs are satisfied, which many people have now, their basic needs, not that people are starving. There may be poor people who do not have enough to eat, but in general, society is not at that level. So then they need love. And love is what is missing in our life. And we want to live only for the sake of love. When we do not have love in our life, and we also do not have hope of love, that's when we commit suicide. As long as we have the hope or we have some love, we want to live. So the real purpose of life is love and not money. And unless we understand it, we will keep on looking for happiness here and there and not get it. So there are many poor people, at least in India, I know, they don't have much money, but they're very happy because they have some loving relationship in the family. And the supreme source of love is Sri Krishna. So this place, Vṛndāvana, where you are sitting, this is the what you call the warehouse of love. This is where Krishna lived, not for a very long time, only 11 years. But he is still remembered after 5,250 years have passed. Yeah. Why is that? Because he distributed his love to everybody, unconditionally. In the material world, the love, it is not that you have not experienced love. You also all have experienced some love. But that love is conditional. And because it is conditional, that's why it has ups and downs in it. And sometimes it disappears. That is the meaning of condition. When condition is satisfied, you get it. When it is not satisfied, you don't get it. So this is the nature of material love. Krishna's love is spiritual love, and it is unconditional. Why it is unconditional? Because he himself is full of it. In the material world, everybody is a beggar for love. So then two beggars come together, and then you scratch my back, I scratch your back. Because it is difficult to scratch your own back. So this is what material relationship is. Some conditions are there, and then we develop some attachment, of course, when we live together. And that attachment is also material, so we try to relish that. But it brings more suffering than relish. So the real love comes not from material objects or material relations, but from spiritual relationship with God. So in Bible also it is said God is love. So why is He love? Because He does not have any demands from you. He is self-satisfied, self-fulfilled, complete in Himself. Because when I am not complete in myself, then whenever I meet somebody, I try to complete myself. This is what people do in human relations. There is a very nice statement in the Upanishad where sage Yajnavalkya is telling to his wife Maitreyi. This is first statement. He makes many statements like that. So first statement he makes is that Nava are patyu kama hai pati priyo bhavati apitu atmane kama hai eva o Maitreyi. So the story is that Yajnavalkya, he had two wives. One wife's name was Katyayani, other's name was Maitreyi. Yajnavalkya, he was a very great learned person, very highly realized person. And in India, previously there used to be a lot of debates on spiritual topics. Now that custom is not there, still there in some places like Banaras. So where scholars come together, they have a particular topic and they give different arguments. So this Yajnavalkya, he won many debates and he earned a lot of wealth. So there was actually a very famous king, Janak Maharaj. He had many debates and Yajnavalkya won. He got a lot of wealth. So this sage Yajnavalkya, then one day he decided that he wants to give up his family, everything, go in solitary place and just do some japa. So he called his both wives. He wanted to make sure that when he goes away, the wives will have enough money, no problem they should face. So he said that, look, my dear wives, you have served me very well. I have been very happy with you. But now I want to take to the renounced order of life, like Swamiji sitting here. I want to take sannyas and I want to divide my wealth so that once I am gone, you will live peacefully, at least materially, you will have no problems. So he said that I will divide my wealth in you, for two of you, and then I will leave. So out of these two wives, Maitreyi was very spiritual and she was very smart. So she thought that this man, he is leaving all this wealth here. Now, human mind has the tendency that it does not give up something unless it finds something better. So if I have my car, it may be old but still functioning. I am not going to drop it unless somebody gives me a new car. If somebody gives me a new car, okay, I drop the old one. So she thought that this guy is very smart. He is giving this wealth to us, but he must have something better than this, and then he is going away with that. So she told to him, he says, my dear husband, it is a moment of great pleasure that you want to take sannyas, and I fully support it. Generally wives don't feel happy like that. But what I want is that you give this whole wealth to the other, my co-wife, Katyayani. So Yajnavalkya was very surprised. Generally when there is a question of division of wealth, people fight for it. When parents die, the children are fighting over the division of the property. So he says that you give everything to her. So Yajnavalkya was also very surprised. That's why she is so renounced. So he asked her that you don't want anything. He says, no, that's not true. I am not that renounced. So she said, no, I don't want this wealth. I want share in the wealth which you are taking with you. So then Yajnavalkya was very pleased with her. So he said that you have really touched my heart. And come, now I will give you what is in my heart. And then he speaks to her. Because the real wealth is the wealth of knowledge. Even those people outside who have some wealth, they have because they had some knowledge. Unless they have inherited it, that is a different thing. So first statement he said that listen, wife does not love the husband for the sake of the husband, but wife loves husband for her own sake. Now this seems like a very painful statement, but it is a bitter truth. And of course, when you translate this from Sanskrit to English, the meaning is very simple, but this sentence has got many meanings in it. Another meaning is that the wife, because the word used is Atma, that she loves for own sake, which can also means for the sake of the self. So wife loves the husband for the sake of the self can mean that for self, herself, but it can also mean that she loves him because there is a self in him. If there is a husband and the soul leaves, will the wife love the dead body? No, they will say, my husband is gone. So nobody loves the dead body. So the love is actually for the person, the soul, the Atma. That is what is called Atma in Sanskrit. And then higher meaning, even more than that, is that Atma also means Krishna. There is a statement in Bhagavatam, Krishna menam avehitvam atmanam akhilatmanam. Sukadeva Goswami is telling King Parikshit that know this Krishna to be the Atma of every living being. And in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna himself says, Aham Atma Gudakesa Sarvabhut Ashyasthita. He says, I am the Atma situated in everyone's heart. So basically, whomever we love because there is some presence of God in it. When a girl loves a boy, that boy looks like divine to that girl. Other girls don't see anything special in this boy, only this girl sees that speciality. That speciality is the speciality of Krishna. Because the very word Krishna means attractive. And that attractiveness can be in wealth, it can be in beauty, it can be in knowledge, it can be in strength. That is what Krishna is. He has all these things in him. He is most beautiful, he is most knowledgeable, he is most powerful, he is most renounced, he is most loving. All these things he has. So whenever you see some beauty, something which attracts you, this actually is attraction of not that person, because if that person dies, you will not be attracted. It is the attraction of Krishna. So therefore, God is Krishna. And don't think that Krishna is some Indian God. There is nothing like that. God has to be beautiful. God has to be all powerful. God has to be all knowledgeable. Everybody will accept this. This is what Krishna means. So as long as the girl sees that divinity in the boy, she loves him. When she doesn't see the divinity, then she fights. So Krishna has explained this in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, how his beauty, his greatness, his vibhuti, his majesty is manifest in different things. But we don't pay attention to that. And we get attracted or hooked onto or attached to the external thing, and that's the cause of the problem. So now let's come back to Vṛndāvana, because that's what I was talking. So this Vṛndāvana is a place where Krishna personally appeared. So God himself came. And why did he come? He came to teach what is love. So he gave the message of love, and he gave the process of love. And that is the purpose of life. If we don't have love in our life, we are actually not living. We are dead people. Tell me, what is the difference between a dead body and a living person who does not have love? This actually living person without love is dangerous. The dead body is not going to harm anybody, except it may rot and give bad smell. But this living person who does not have love, he or she is going to create chaos in the society, create disturbance, exploit others, fight, quarrels. Now all this fight which you see are going on is all because there is no love.
It's even worse.
Dangerous, not just worse. It's very dangerous. So as long as we do not have love in our life, we will remain unhappy, dissatisfied, disturbed, anxiety, fear. We will exploit others, we will be corrupt, we will harm others, we will do all these things. All bad qualities will manifest. When we have love, everything will be nice, there will be no problem. Wealth will also come when love is there, naturally. This is a law of nature. So all the problems in society, whether they are problems in the family, problems at your workplace, problem at the country level, social problem, economic problem, political problem, health problem, Any problem, if you really deeply analyze, it comes because of lack of love. And therefore the solution for all problems is love. So that is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means yoga of love. And that's why Jesus came where now they are fighting. All this fight, the very place where Jesus came with the message of love, what is happening now? Killing, just burning, destroying innocent people. Is this what Jesus wanted, or Abraham or Moses or whoever, or even Muhammad? But all these people, they are fighting, forgetting what our founders, with what message they came. So when love is not there, the hell is right here, hell is not somewhere else. When love is here, this is heaven. So this is all great people, whether it is Lord Jesus, Lord Buddha, Lord Krishna, they all gave the same message. But Krishna has given much more detail than anyone else. He has spoken Bhagavad Gita, and he spoke also Uddhav Gita, where he gives step-by-step process how to attain this love in our life, how to live in this material world practically, how to deal with other human beings. And his topmost message is message of love, which he depicted here, especially with the gopis of Vraj. This is the place of heart melting, Vṛndāvana. So please try to understand life, purpose of life, read Bhagavad Gita. It is important. Your life will change. You will feel peaceful, happy in your own life. Without God, you cannot be happy. This is guaranteed. It is not possible, no matter how much money you have. Because there is no limit. When you will have that much money which you want now, then you will need more. And the beauty is that money you have to search here and there. Lithuanian people go to America in search of money, right? So, but God is everywhere. He is in Lithuania also. You don't have to go to America for that. This is good that you come to India, you come to Vṛndāvana, because India still has some spiritual wealth which is not available elsewhere. So anything else? Or we end?
When we see or when we meet a person, we see the beauty in the very beginning. Why it can not last like longer than
That's very interesting question. So one thing you have to know is that in the material world, everything is changing. Nothing is permanent. It is not only that the person changes, but your mind changes. And the beauty, as they say, lies in the eye of the beholder. So when you see the person from far, he looks one way. When you come little more closer, he may look little differently. Same object looks differently when seen from different angles, right? And when he comes very close to you, the very same person which you are very much hankering for, when he gets too close to you, you don't see him that beautiful. So our senses have the tendency to get into delusion. There are many factors which are involved. Our senses get deluded, our mind fluctuates. Today you like one person, tomorrow your mind changes, you start liking another person. And one of the very interesting characteristic of the mind is that it is attracted to that which you don't have. If you did not have that fancy car, then you are so much dreaming to have it. But once you have it, then after some time it loses its value. Then new model comes or some better car comes in your mind. So you have teeth in your mouth. They are very important. But you don't know the importance unless one tooth starts shaking. And if it falls down, then your whole attention goes to that place. You are not paying any damn attention to your teeth when they are fine. So this is the nature of mind, that it gets attracted to what it does not have. And once it has it, the value goes down.
Okay.
It can go down, and it even you may start disliking it. So it's many stories like that. I cannot live without you, and then after some time, I cannot live with you. Same person. So this is how material world works. So that's why I spoke of material love and spiritual love, material attraction and spiritual attraction. Material attachment, spiritual attachment. So all the material attachments, material attraction will ultimately end up in dejection. This is the essence of any material object. Just like if you take some flower, lavender flower, and you extract lavender oil from that, right? So it is very fragrant. That is the essence of it. Like that, if you boil everything material and take the essence, you will see dejection in it only, that's all. If you can understand this, once you realize this, then your spiritual journey begins. Therefore, the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called Yoga of Dejection. So I have written a whole book on this first chapter. Material things are not stable. See, the basis of all our relations, all our possessions, all our love is this material body. And this itself is temporary. It came into existence and it will come to an end. And with it, all material relations, all material possessions, they will be finished. This is the truth. We may not like it, but truth is not going to change. It doesn't depend on my like or dislike. The intelligent thing is to accept the truth. Otherwise, we live in delusion, and that means suffer. But we don't want to suffer, we want to be happy. That's the original question, that's the purpose of life. Why shall I not be happy? It is my birthright to be happy. Why shall I suffer? But for that, I have to have basic understanding about life. And it is for that reason Krishna appeared here in Vṛndāvana to give that knowledge to us.